Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I am Tips. We're going to start part 5 of the stock pot video series today. Before I get started with that, I'd like to show off a new piece of glassware that I got here. Found it at a little thrift store. It was 50 bucks. It's got a ground glass lid. It's 10 liters, 10,000 ml. Got a little hole in the top here so I can put my funnel. When I filter my gold refining solutions through, I can put the funnel right down in that hole, so I don't have to tie up my expensive glassware to hold my solutions before they go into the stock pot. Okay, enough about that. Without any further chatter, let's get right to it. Part 5 of the stock pot refining videos. Before I get started, I wanted to show a little bit of a write-up here. One of the dangers of working with these metals. This is the Refining Handbook by C.M. Hoke. This is found on page 309 of the book. If you look down here, it says, "Indeed, if osmium oxide touches the mucous membrane of the eye, it breaks down and deposits a film of metallic osmium in the tissues. These metals are just too dangerous to be playing with out in your backyard or in your garage." After examining the solution, it didn't quite look right, so I decided to add some more SMB here to see if I can get any gold that might still be in solution to drop out. Solids are starting to come out of the solution now. Down at the bottom down here, I got some stuff building up on the bottom. And that's what we seen with our sample. So I think now we're going to be good to go here. I didn't have enough sodium metabisulfite in there earlier. And now I think I finally got enough in there. Everything's settling out. It's going to have to take a day or so to settle here. So let it settle until the solution is crystal clear. I know I shouldn't push it, but I'm kind of anxious to see what we got here. So I'm going to spin a couple samples here and see what kind of stuff we have suspended in solution. It's like coffee. Here I'm using a little hydrochloric acid to rinse the inside of that pipette out. Using water does some strange things to the solution, so rather than use water to rinse the pipette, I'm using a little hydrochloric acid there. Well, I'll balance these out now. I got 413.3 on that one. This is 415, so I'm going to take about 1 ml out of here. Alright, we got 414.0. 414.0. 414.2. That's close enough. It needs to be 1/2 gram. It's less than 1/4. So we're good. Ah, what the heck. You're allowed 300 feet when you're flying an airplane, but it's just as easy to fly it right on as it is to fly it 300 feet lower, 300 feet high. 114.1. 114.1. Perfect. Alright, we'll load our samples in here. Alright, close the lid. Lock it. Power on. We're just going to spin this at a low RPM for about 10 minutes, I guess. 500, 600 RPM, 600, below 1,000. Should be fine. Alright, it looks like it's slung all the gold out of it. I can definitely see some gold down here at the bottom. Let me see if I can get this light on it. Here you can see some brown mud settled out big time down there at the bottom. That's going to be our gold. Alright, let me set these up out of the way here. Carefully. That was a good test. I was wondering how much gold was going to settle out on the bottom. And so now what I want to do, instead of going through and doing that with the whole solution, I'm just going to let this settle. But I would like to go back to this solution here. It had the zinc in it. I'm going to decant that liquid and see if we can get the black powders cleaned up in the bottom of this beaker. About it as far as I can go. That's our mixed PGM black powder that was cemented out with zinc. It's a nice goodly amount there. This liquid here will go in my stock pot, and what we'll do now is rinse this out, this black powder. It's distilled water. A couple of ml of hydrochloric acid here to make a dilute solution of hydrochloric. Burn the rest of the zinc out of there. You can see here that hydrochloric acid is reacting with leftover pieces of zinc in there. I'll keep a dilute solution 1 to 10, 1 hydrochloric to 10 distilled water until we get all the excess zinc burnt out of the black PGM powder. This is our black powders. I think all the zinc's been dissolved out of there now. What I'll do is draw that liquid off so that the black powder doesn't go back in the solution. These metals like to go back in the solution if they sit in an acidic bath. Some people were gigging me on my last video where I did some platinum group metals, talking about too much zinc and hydrochloric acid, but these metals do not cooperate. Once you get them precipitated out with the zinc, they want to go back in solution. So you got to add more zinc and more hydrochloric acid. Just sucked up a big pile of black there. All the liquid that I can draw off of here. Draw enough, I'm starting to get solids going up in the pipe bed there. So now what I'll do is I'm going to add some water to get this solution diluted down, distilled water, and then we'll just let this settle out. It's the following morning. I've got my solution here nice and settled out, as you can see. At least I won't be putting anything back in the solution. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this off to the side over here, and then we're going to go back, turn our attention to the main solution. If you look down there, you can see there's some gold or some sediment down here that I want to try to get out. As before, I chose to siphon these solutions off rather than pouring them into the filter. The filtrate in that flask will be my platinum group metals, and rather than pouring the solution through the filter and risk getting some of the gold sediment down into that filter and having it pass through the filter and contaminate my PGM solution, is something that I wanted to try to avoid. Here I'm just rinsing out the siphon tube there with some distilled water. Now I choose to rinse the filter with some hydrochloric acid instead of water. Hydrochloric acid seems to cause problems when you mix it with these PGM solutions. Here's a look at the mud. It looks like there's a whole bunch down there, but as you'll see later in the video, it turns out to not be all that much. With the remnants in each of these containers, I just make up a filter here and then pour these solutions with any settled gold right into the filter. Turns out these centrifuge bottles didn't have much gold in them at all. Looks like a lot of gold in there. You'll hear me make some noises. It looks like there's going to be a good ounce or so of pure gold, but turns out not to be the case. Got everything into the filter now. Man, I cannot believe how much material precipitated out there. I don't know if that's all going to be gold. It's all out of the beaker. Move this beaker out of the way. I've got a clean 2-liter beaker here. I'll get this stuff in the beaker now. Lot of stuff, man. I don't know what that's going to be. For the solution here that came through the filter, what I'll do is I'm going to pour that into this tall beaker, and then what'll happen here, I'd be tempted to add this to my main solution, and I might do that, but I won't do it until it settles out completely. Alright, I'll set this solution off to the side here. This is some hydrochloric acid. I had some gold rinsing in, and I'm going to use it for refining this material that's in this filter. This is just hydrochloric acid that I had some pure gold setting in. here was my sample from the SMB beaker. That's got some gold in it. I'm just going to add it right to this beaker right here. As usual, I'm going to add an ml or so of hydrochloric acid, take care of any lead that might have made it down in there. Now I'm going to cover it up, and we'll set it up here on the heat and start heating it up and start adding some concentrated nitric to form aqua regia in there. Start adding concentrated nitric now. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Start out with 10 and see what we get with that. Total of 18 ml of concentrated nitric in there. I think it was up to about the, what is that? About the 400 ml level with hydrochloric. And it's only been on there about 10 minutes. Looks like everything's pretty much gone into solution. Get a quick status test on this and see what we got. I split a piece of bamboo with a knife, and I stick my filter paper down in there, and I get down in here and get some of it on the paper without having to stick my hand way down in the beaker. And then now we're going to put some stannous on here and see what we got. Come on. Oh yeah. Gold in solution. Turn the heat off here and just let this slow down. Pull it down off the heat. Let it cool off. Add a few pieces of ice here to cool the solution down. Got the solution down to 63 Fahrenheit, 17.6 Celsius. If you look down here after adding that ice, I've got a bunch of junk precipitating out. I'm not quite sure what that is. But rather than try to pour this through a filter, I'm going to siphon it. Tube full of water. Filter papers in here, so that material inside the beaker there is probably just the filter papers that fell apart. Should be able to just go ahead and pour this in now. Most of the liquid is through. Yeah, I think that's just the filter papers that fell apart. Solution's running clear in there. Now I'll add some sodium metabisulfite, precipitate out pure gold. waiting for that gold to settle, I decided to pour the platinum solution into this large 5-liter beaker. And what I'm going to do is, once I get that solution in the beaker, I'm going to be adding some pieces of pure zinc metal to it. And what will happen is, in accordance with the reactivity series of metals, zinc being higher up in the list and therefore more reactive, will displace the platinum group metals that are dissolved in that acidic solution there. You can see I get quite a reaction just by dipping it in there. That black foam is the platinum group metals coming out of solution onto the piece of zinc. The reaction happens very quickly, and the zinc goes into solution while the platinum group metals come out of solution as a black powder. You can see that black powder building up around the edge of the beaker there. That is the platinum group metals. In this footage here, that's the first piece of zinc that I put in. I think I take a squirt bottle and squirt down the edges of the beaker here so you can see better, but it only took about 5 minutes, maybe 6 at the most, for the solution to completely dissolve that sheet of pure zinc. Here's another sheet of the pure zinc. I add that carefully. I was kind of concerned about getting a boil over because this metal is very reactive in that acidic solution. You can see the platinum group metals coming out. That black residue, that black powder that's forming there, is the platinum group metals cementing out on the zinc there. The zinc is going into solution. The platinum group metals are coming out of solution as the zinc dissolves. The two metals essentially are trading places. Are you seeing what I'm seeing down there? It's a whole pile of black powder down here. There's some red on there, which is, I don't know what that is, probably rhodium. Rhodium's color is red. It's looking like there's going to be a lot of platinum group metals here. Reaction's been going for about 45 minutes now, and I'm getting some pink colored material on the side of the beaker there, and the solution looks like it's turning pink. There's a ton of metal down there. It's kind of freaking me out, man. I didn't expect to see that much metal coming out of solution. That's still the second piece of zinc in there. Here's our sample from the SMB beaker that we started, what was that, way back in part 2. That's platinum group metals that are precipitated out, that I've taken the acid off of it. It's just sitting in water there. Wow. This is at the 1 hour point here. The solution is looking pink, burgundy colored, and the metal's still reacting, so we'll just let that go. Continue to let it react. I'm going to try a extra large filter here so we can catch all the gold. This has been settling now for a couple hours and it's taken a long time to settle. So I'm going to try to fashion a filter here that will catch all the metal for us. Kind of wad it down in there. Mix up a little hydrochloric acid here. Now we're going to get this back into the beaker. Pretty good. Adding about 100 ml of hydrochloric acid here. Sulfuric acid. Alright, now we'll get it up on heat here. Start adding nitric acid to get it to dissolve again. That's 8 ml of concentrated nitric in there. Been on here about 6-8 minutes. Everything's gone in the solution. We'll pull it out here and let it cool off. I'm going to filter the gold. I added an ice cube to it to cool it off. Filtering is complete. Now I'm going to drop the gold a second time. I'm going to use some ferrous sulfate here that I dissolved earlier, filtered, and put it up just for this purpose. Our concentrated ferrous sulfate solution. It's got some crystals forming on the bottom. I'm going to pour that right in now. gold out of the solution here. Stance test here. Make sure we got all the gold. And as you can see, no gold in solution. Splash a little bit of hydrochloric acid, rinse it out. Alright, now we're going to take it out of the funnel, put it back in the beaker, put it up on the heat. Now first let's put some hydrochloric acid in there, about 50 ml or so. Put it up on the heat. Add about a half ml of concentrated sulfuric acid for the lead, if any. And then we're going to add about 4 ml of concentrated nitric acid to form aqua regia in there and dissolve that gold one more time. This will be the third time. That's 2, 4, make it 6 ml. About 2.5 minutes. And I think we got everything in solution. It's all dissolved. Pull it down off the heat, let it cool. I'm going to add an ice cube here, cool it off. Alright, our solution is cooled down. I'm going to filter it now. Alrighty, precipitate it third time. Solution's cloudy. It's got something in it, I just can't get it out. I'm not going to dissolve it a fourth time. I'm just going to go ahead and melt it. Add some sodium metabisulfite, precipitate the pure gold. Alright, here we go. I'm going to filter it again. Junk in here or something. You can see the filtrate is a amber color. So I'm going to go ahead and dissolve this one more time. Hit it with a little hydrochloric acid here, rinse it out. Alright, rinse this out a little bit with some more hydrochloric acid. Evidently some junk got in there. I thought I seen some black stuff sticking to the bottom of the beaker. Last time I dissolved it, I just let it go. I should have rinsed it out of there. Something caused a problem here. Alright, let's get this in the beaker. Some sulfuric acid. add some hydrochloric acid, about 50 ml. Cover it up, get it on the heat. And this time I'm adding 4 ml maximum of concentrated nitric acid. Minutes now. Everything's in solution. Pull it down off the heat. Let it cool again. We're going to add a couple ice cubes here and get it cooled off. Alright, here we go again. Fourth time. That copperas that I added didn't quite look right when I went to get it. I went ahead and added it anyway. It looked kind of slushy. Didn't look nice green crystals like I'm used to seeing. I think there was a problem with the copperas. Man, what a way to waste time, you know? This is looking much better. This should make some nice pure gold. That filter right there, see how that filter looks? It's got a color to it. There's still something in there. I'm just going to go ahead and precipitate this, and rather than trying to sell the button online like I was going to try to do, I'll just add this in with my next batch of karat gold and incord it, refine it that way. That'll clean it up. I'm going to add some sodium metabisulfite, get this to precipitate out. See them suds? Don't look right. Yeah, something ain't right with this batch. There's still some junk in it. I don't quite know what it is. But I'll get that in a filter and melt it up into a button and throw it in with my next batch of karat scrap. This is it for part 5. I've got my platinum group metals in here, precipitated out with zinc. I do not like that foam on the top of there. The jeweler that I have refined for, he uses some soapy solutions to wash jewelry, and probably some of that got in there. Here's my karat gold, or my pure gold. This precipitation went pretty good, but I think there's still some junk in there. What I'm going to do is melt that up into a button, and then I'll throw that in with my next batch of karat scrap. Okay, part 5 is done. I got the platinum group metal cemented out with zinc. I got that gold button. I can melt that up and throw that in with some karat scrap in a batch in the future. I was going to try to get it out there and get us a final yield. I may still try to do that in part 6. I'm tired. I'm getting ready to go to bed. I've been working on this thing for about 15 hours now. So this will conclude part 5 of the stock pot refining videos. Thanks for watching.